All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Before I start, let me apologize. I have had. Let me apologize that we're starting at 1:30 instead of 1:10 as we proposed that we would start. Okay. Too many things came in the way today, and I was out and got stuck in a very bad traffic that didn't allow me get in as early as I thought it would be. My apologies for that. All right, good afternoon, everyone. Again, okay, I hope you pardon me. All right, so good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this live broadcast. My name is Maribeth Shima. If you're watching me on Facebook, please say hello. Let me know you're with me and you are in the background. Don't just stay in the background. Please say something. Let's know that you're with us and that you are watching us. And if you are on YouTube, please say something also in the comments on YouTube. I am super excited to be here. I am the convener of the group Parenting Through Mentorship, and I am always excited to be on your screen. Thank you for joining, and thank you for joining and for being here despite the delay in our today's broadcast. All right, so today we're going to be talking about 5 things that we can do as parents to foster collaboration with our children's school. Okay, that's what we're talking about today. If you're here in the background, please say something. I know this class is late, and some people would already think we're not having it. All right, we're not having it, but hey, we're having it. So if you're here in the background, say something. And if you know someone who needs to be here, you have a friend who needs to be here, please let them know that they need to be here. Send them an invite or send them a text, tag them on this video and let them join us for this session. If you're here, say hello so that I know. I like to say hello to you too. All right. I feel so bad. I feel so bad. You should have seen me in that traffic. I thought of starting the class right there in the traffic, but it didn't make sense because I was in the traffic and that will be breaking rules, isn't it? So I just had to make sure I get back home before I began. I'm so sorry about that once more. All right. So today we're looking at how we can foster a relationship with our teacher, with our children's teacher. All right. With our children's teacher or teachers, because it is very important. And why are we doing this at this point? We're doing this at this point because this is the right time for it. The children are all getting set to return to school at this point. Okay. Except for a few kids that didn't even go on holiday. My heart goes out to this kind of children because whether they went on holiday or not, in a few, I'm sure they would just give them a few days break and then you're back to school. This is so heartbreaking for me. Okay, it's so heartbreaking for me, just thinking about it. No, that's not the case with my children. But just thinking about the fact that this is what some kids had to go through, okay, in some part of Nigeria, just makes me sad. All right, so we're looking at how we can collaborate with our school, with our children's teachers, because it is very important that we have a good relationship, okay, or that we have a relationship that is thriving between us and our children's teachers. And why is that important? It's important because, like it or not, you are co-parenting with this group of people. Okay, you are co-parenting with your child's teacher. Your child's teacher is teaching as a parent. Okay, as a parent, you are parenting your child, and by virtue of your parenting, you should be a teacher to your child. All right, because you're going to have to, parenting is teaching actually. So you're going to have to teach your children a lot of things, okay, a lot of things that go beyond their classroom, and you would even have to reinforce some of the things that go on in their classroom, and would have to consolidate a lot of the things that your children learn outside your home. So whether you like it, as a parent, you are a teacher. Okay, likewise, the teacher, your child's teacher could be the teacher in the classroom, but hey, they are doing some bit of parenting there because there's pastoral care. I mean, when they go to school, the teachers actually give them pastoral care. Okay, your child's teacher is not just the person that walks to the board and then pour out all the knowledge and then walks away. Okay, they pay attention to the children. They pay attention. I mean, I'm talking about an effective teacher, right? I'm talking about what a teacher should be, an effective teacher. Now, that's what it's supposed to be. A real teacher would not just pour out knowledge, okay, or pour out information into your child. They would also offer them some level of pastoral care. They will also offer them, they'll offer them all of these care. So whether you like it or not, as a teacher, you are also doing some job of parenting, isn't it? You're also doing some job of parenting. So yes, parents and teachers are both parenting, quote and unquote, and teaching. It's just that each of us is doing this at a level. So for some parents, they are teaching at a level, a minimal level, okay, while the teacher does the bulk of the teaching. All right. And then for the teachers, you're parenting at a minimal level while the parent does the bulk of the parenting. So you see how important each one is to the other. So whether you like it or not, you are in a marriage with your child's teacher. Okay, you are in a relationship with your child's teacher, and it is for the benefit of everyone that we have a good relationship. It's for the benefit of everyone that this relationship is thriving. So now today I want to give you some, and I want to share some ideas with you, okay, on how you can ensure that you start off on the right foot with your child's teacher. It's a new school year. So you're going to have a new set of teachers, or you're going to have a new, at least, homeroom teacher. Your child is going to have a new homeroom teacher. And then depending on the school, your child will probably have, and then the level of the child will probably have other teachers who probably teach some other core subjects. Okay, so if your child is going to high school, secondary school, your child will probably have a homeroom teacher, and then would also have teachers who they interact with like on a regular basis, like their core subjects, mathematics, language arts, and all of that, English language, and science, and depending, on what your child does in school. So we're looking at how we can collaborate with this group of people who have access to our children, okay, people who have access to our children like on a daily basis. I said in one of my posts a few days ago that your child's teacher is so, I mean, the effect of your child's teacher in your child's life is so profound, okay? It is so much that perhaps, I mean, in some cases, the teacher is even spending more time with your child than you are spending with your child, depending on how busy you are as a parent. And if your child is actually in boarding school, then I make bold to say that the teacher will probably have more definitely has more time with your child in a year than you have. Your child is gone for 3 months here, 3 months there, and another 3 months. That's 9 months altogether in a 12 calendar year. So, hey, your child is away from you and with this group of people for 9 out of 12 months. You cannot afford not to have a good relationship, or you cannot afford not to have an effective collaboration with this group of people. Now, how do you do this? How do you begin this relationship? Because it's one that you have to renew every year. It's like paying your house rent, isn't it? It's just that this time you'll be renewing it with a different group of people, or you'll be renewing it with a different person every year. First thing first you want to do is you want to know, you want to meet, right, rather, you want to meet your child's teacher. You want to meet your child's teacher. So usually, in some schools, forward thinking schools will probably send you a note, okay, will probably send you a note about your child's teacher and all of those things days before they resume school. Okay, when the last school I worked with will actually will send you mails like before the day of resumption, so you know who your child's teacher is. Okay, they introduce who is going to be working with your child that year. They practically they introduce the team to you. Basically, they introduce the team to you. Okay, the team of teachers or the group of teachers that your child is going to be working with. So of course you will know who your child's homeroom teacher or the teacher that is directly responsible for your child that year is going to be, even before you meet them. Okay, so at that point you want to start doing your college research. Okay, you want to do a bit of background, like about the teacher. You want to know a little about the teacher. Okay, I mean, if there is no opportunity for that, okay, if there's no opportunity for that, you can wait until you meet the teacher. But apart from that, you can actually check around. I mean, if it's an old school, okay, if it's a school that you've been before, you probably have an idea. Okay, you probably have an idea if it's a school where you're returning to. Okay, so you probably have an idea of who this person is, okay, from past encounters or just being a part of the school. You will have an idea. All right. For some advanced people, you can actually Google, and you might just see a few things. Okay, you're not doing this to, you just want to know a little about, have a little background about this teacher. Okay, so you probably see a few things that the teacher has done and all that in some advanced situation and all that. But apart from that, hey, make plans to show up in school on the first day of school. All right, so make plans to show up in school on the first day of school. Now, in some schools, they will go ahead and ensure that there's a meeting that is organized for you to meet your child's teacher one-on-one very early in the term. Okay, there's some schools that will organize that. Some schools will not. Now, if you happen to be in that school that would not, what you want to do, number one, is you want to approach the management. You want to write to the school and ask for an opportunity to meet your child's teacher for between 10 and 20 minutes. Okay, so request for a meeting with your child's teacher for about 15-20 minutes, a 15-10-15-20 minutes meeting with your child's teacher. Okay, so make provision. Okay, make time for that meeting, no matter how busy you are as a parent. So make time for a meeting with your child's teacher at the beginning of the term. Okay, if the school already provides for that, provides that opportunity. Okay, we're talking at the beginning of the year. We're not talking about that meeting that happens 1 month or 2 months into the term. We're not talking about that. We're talking of a meeting that happens, say, in the first few days of school resumption, or at the most the first week of school. So you want to ask for that meeting with your child's teacher. Be very polite about it, okay? Make it official, and then write officially to the school saying, "Oh, I would like to." Make it as official as possible. Okay, I would like to have, I would have like to have a 10-15 minutes meeting with my class, with my child's teacher. I know that this is not this time you're setting up and you're busy. I mean, and you're setting up and all of that. So I would like to have that meeting before you get into your busy schedules and all of that. Okay, I'll be glad to get feedback on the time that is good for you. Okay, now show up for that meeting. All right. So the other thing, so that's number one, ask for a meeting with your child's teacher. Okay, it is very important that you ask for a meeting with your child's teacher. Okay, now the other thing you want to do is let the children get involved. Okay, let the children get involved. So I would say this: prepare the children. We've talked about that. We've talked about how we can prepare the children. Okay, we talked about how we can prepare the children to go back to school and all of that. Okay, so in your preparation, this last few days or last few days or a week before school, Okay, get the children excited about school. Okay, get them excited about school and all of that. You're shopping, go out to shop with them for school, let them make some of the decisions and all of that. Okay, and then the excitement is there, and the excitement, the energy is up. Now say to the children, let's write a letter. Okay, why don't we write a letter to your new teacher? Okay, so get the children to write a blind note to their new teacher. Okay, let them write and tell their new teacher how excited they are to meet them. Okay, I am super excited to meet you. I can't wait to meet you. I don't even know who you are, but I know that I'm going to have an amazing school year. Okay, I just thought I should let you know a bit about myself. My name is Meribeth Chima. I am this. I'm a happy child. I love to read. I like math, but sometimes I struggle with fraction and decimals, and I'm still struggling with my multiplication table. I like to play a lot, okay? And I don't like to stay in very long classes. So sometimes I get restless. I mean, do you understand? So sometimes I get tired during the class and I may want to just walk around. Let your child give his teacher a preview into what kind of learner they are. Okay, let your child give his teacher a preview into what kind of learner he is and all that. But let the children do this on their own. So let your children write these notes to their teacher and all that, make it pretty. Remember, let them, they will be excited to meet their new teacher. So let them say in that blank note how excited they are to meet their new teacher. Tell you what, coming from the mouth of a teacher, it will warm the heart of any teacher. If I get a note from a child who is coming to my class, and then the child tells me this is who I am, I'm going to think very highly of this child and of this child's parents, because they have just made my job easier. Okay, because what a teacher does in the first few weeks of school is the teacher struggles to know who their learner is. The teacher has 20, 30 children. Now, when I'm talking teacher, remember that I'm talking about a real teacher who is a teacher from their heart. I'm talking of a teacher who is a teacher because they want to be a teacher. All right, I'm talking of a teacher who understands what it means to be a teacher and to have the lives of young people in their hands. Okay, where they can influence and they can step down knowledge to and want the best for the children. So I am talking about that authentic teacher. So every teacher who knows what it means to be a teacher will be happy that this child has gone ahead to make the work of trying to understand them lighter or easier. Okay, and this will warm you. Just know that it sends a message immediately to the teacher that okay, this family is one that knows what education or school is about, and this is that child or this is that family that you need to pay attention to. Okay, because like it or not, okay, in the classroom a teacher knows the child that is coming from a home where the parents are present and the child's education is paramount. The teacher knows. The teacher knows the child doesn't have to say anything. Okay, you can feel it. The feelings are there. Okay, as a teacher, you know the child whose parents are deeply involved. You know the child whose parents are not involved. You know the child whose parents are struggling. You just know it will always show in the children. Okay, so you know the child that you can get away with being complacent, right? Let me use that. So you know the child that, let me just put it this way, you know the child that you can joke with, okay, or you can anything goes for, and you know the child that no, you have to be on your toes. So let me tell you the extent to which your child's teacher is on their toes, the extent to which your child's teacher is committed to their job or to a particular class or to a particular year is dependent on the kind of parents in that class. So if the teacher has a group of parents who, anything goes for, I tell you, the teacher will relax and, because they know that every little effort is just fine. But when the teacher is in a class where the parents are on top of their game, I tell you what, you will motivate the teacher and you will put not pressure per se, you will make the teacher know that there is expectations here. There are people who expect so much from me and I cannot fail. That is it. So you send that message across immediately that, okay, this one is intentional. These ones are intentional and these ones have what they expect of me. All right. So you want to do that. Okay. So you want, first of all, you want to make you want to ask for a meeting with your child's teacher. You want to make that official, ask for an official meeting, 10 to 20 minutes with your child's teacher, and be very polite about it. Be very polite about it and do not take it for granted. Don't do as if, oh, it's my entitlement and all. They just be polite about it and then send that message. That is if your child's school does not provide this opportunity in the first few days or week of resumption. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, you want to have your child, write a blind note to their teacher, even when they don't know who exactly that teacher is going to be. So this is the children write that note to their teacher, okay, telling their teacher how excited they are to meet them, how they can't wait to meet them, how they're looking forward to a positive year, how they're positive about the year and they're looking forward to a good year, an amazing year, okay, working with them, okay, and then of course tell the teacher a bit about themselves. This is the kind of learner that I am, this is what I like, this is what I do, and all of that, and this is basically, this is what I like. This is what is sorry. All right, so this is what I like. This is the kind of learner that I am, and all that. So it gives straight. The teacher knows, okay, how I may need to support this person here, there, immediately. So there's nothing that comes, the teacher does not have to discover some of those things because you have made the journey, okay, shorter for them. You have met them halfway, okay? So the teacher can go right into, okay, your teacher can jump right into supporting your child from the beginning, as opposed to struggling to figure out this child's needs and all of that. So that's it. That's one and number two. All right. Number three thing that you need to do is so during that meeting, this class is going to be short because we started really late, so I'll make it short. So number three thing you need to do is you need to go and during that meeting, you need to share your goals with your child's teacher. All right, so what goals are you going to be sharing if you don't have your goals? What expectations would you be telling the teacher that you have if you do not have a plan? So that brings us to, you need to create a plan. You must have a plan for your children at the beginning of the school year. If you've not been doing that before now, no, you have been leaving a lot on the table, and you have probably been the reason why certain milestones have not been reached, or why your children have not explored their full potential. So as a parent, you must set educational goals. You must set educational goals for your children, and a good time to do it is at the beginning of a school year. So you can use that to set the goals and the expectations. So when you set those goals, then you know where your expectations are placed and who you expect what from. When you set those goals, then you know where your expectations are placed and who you expect what from. Okay, so it's in setting that goal that you can place your expectations. Okay, who is responsible for this and who is responsible for that? Because by and large, what is important is the children. Let me tell you something, parents, and I need you to put this somewhere. You do not have to know. Okay, sorry, you do not have to have all that your child needs. You do not have to have all that your child needs to succeed, but you need to know what your child needs to succeed. Let me take that again. You do not have to have, you do not need to have what your child needs to succeed. So, meaning you don't have to know science, you don't have to know chemistry, you do not have to know how to train a particular skill, you do not have to know how to train a particular thing. You don't have to know how to train a particular habit. Okay, you don't necessarily, you don't know it, because you cannot give what you don't have, you cannot give what you don't know. So yes, you may not know it, you may not have it. Okay, nobody, probably during your time, nobody taught you certain things, so you don't even have it, you don't even know it. For goodness sake, you can't play the piano. Okay, you may not be able to play the piano, you may not be able to play football, you may not be able to you can't code, you can't do all of these things, right? You don't have to have what your children need, but you need to know what your children need. So what do they need? So it is in knowing what they need, having the conversation with your child, going back to their reports from the past, going back, looking at their journey so far, looking at their challenges that they've had over the years, knowing your child, understanding your child, understanding how they learn, understanding what their challenges are. When you know all of these things, knowing their abilities, okay, knowing their abilities, knowing their interests, okay, when you know all of these things, when you take your time to find out and know all of these things, as in what they need, then you can begin to demand, or you can begin to seek people who can support them, okay, in these areas. You can seek people who know these things, right? Who know how to support your child, or who have the ability, people who have the ability to support your child in these different areas. And because you know, right? Because you know what your child needs, then you can demand and you can supervise, you can monitor, you can supervise, and you would know if these people are delivering. So the truth is, if you do not know what your child needs, you will not know when someone is not delivering on that. You will not know whether someone is shortchanging your child. You want to know if someone is just playing around with your child. You want to know if a school is just there packing garbage into your child. Why is that? Because you do not know what your child needs. Okay? So I repeat again, you don't have to, you don't necessarily have to or need to have what your child needs for you to give your child the best. All you need is to know what your child needs, and then look for people who can offer these things to your child. And then, because you know, you can monitor, you can supervise, and you can demand certain things of these people. Now, people give these services or whatever it is to our children, when they find out that you do not know what your child needs, then they come to you with all kinds of stories, and they bamboozle you, and they give you substandard things, and then you take it and you swallow it because you do not know. That is the reason a lot of times you see parents jumping from one place to the other in the name of schools. Oh, this school, they done this, they done that, because you don't know what your child needs. So someone can wake up and tell you, oh, in this place, they don't take nonsense. In this place, the children come to school, they don't have time, they don't waste time in all these extracurricular activities. What they do is they just face their book, and their children come out with A's and B's and everything. And then you too, you will pack your children, you go and dump them in one place where people are pulling them from all sides of their limbs, pulling their legs, pulling their hands, stressing your child. A lot of our children are stressed. Oh my goodness. A lot of our children are stressed. They are stretched beyond their limits. They are stressed. They don't even enjoy what they are learning. Okay, they are just practically swallowing garbage. Don't worry. As they swallow, they will vomit it. I mean, now it's simple. Hi, Chidima, it's good to have you. All right. So if you stuff people, you stuff a child. Okay. Let's look at it now. The way, we're used to some of these things. The way when the child is not eating akamu, that time, when the child is not eating, how you would tilt them over. Back in the day, they tilt them over, and then they force they pour the meal into the mom's hands, and then the child is forced to swallow it. So every time the child opens their mouth to take a breath, because they're feeling what do you call it, choked, right? The child is feeling choked, or the child is gasping for breath. Okay, so every time he opens his mouth to gasp for breath, the food is forced in. And then when we finish, the mother is happy and he has eaten. So it is the same approach. This is us. This is who we are. Okay? The same mindset that we use to tilt a child over and force meals into their mouth, okay, because we feel he needs this food, he will eat this food even if it kills him or even if it chokes him. So we do not care, we do not understand the pain or the pressure that the child goes through. I mean, imagine that the reason why you get fed, chew what they can't. Exactly. So the reason, I mean, imagine that the reason, I mean, the way you get food into a child's stomach, something that's supposed to satisfy the child, is by making the child feel like they're going to faint, feel choked, and in trying to breathe, food comes in trying to breathe, and then that child is supposed to begin to love food or something when it's so hard. So it's the same thing we do with our education. Okay, a lot of these schools, a lot of the places where we take our children is the same thing. It's that same gasping for air. So at the end of the day, you do that and the child gasps for air and then puts food. At the end, there'll be food in the child's stomach. The child is eating, and then you see the child flourish. The child will be getting fat, and then we're happy. Oh, he's eating. You see now he's eating. It's the same thing we do in education. We force them that way, pull and everything. When they come for air, we force them, drag them, and all that, and then they cram. They cram. They cram. They cram. And then when it's time for exam, like that child, ooh, they pour it out. Because some of those children, when you finish forcing them and all that, because of all that pressure, you sit them up and the next thing they vomit everything. So yes, the child will go when it's time for exams. You will pour out everything, but nothing. Learning did not happen. They hardly internalized anything. Okay, so most of what you have is the child that has just stuffed themselves with information. I said in a post today, the moment we move, okay, from information collection to mastery, the moment we move from trying to stuff our children with endless information. I mean, just the other day I heard in a school, in fact, that wasn't the first time I was hearing it. I went to a school one time, okay, while I was trying to look around, I just wanted to look around what's happening in other schools, at the point where my son was going to secondary school. I said, okay, let me just look around and see what entails in other places. I already knew where he was going to go to anyway. So I just wanted to know what entails or what, happens in other places. And I went to a school, and in my Shombo, in my trying to understand what happened there, I was like, okay, let me check check their elementary, okay, and see what's going on there. And I got to a year 2 or year 3 class, and they told me they do 16 subjects, 1 and 6, 16. So you're creating 16 compartments. I mean, the child's head is like 1, 2, 3, 16. The child needs to take care of 16 books. The child needs to learn how to, navigate around 16 different subjects. Isn't that too much for a 7-year-old? I mean, if we want to teach our children skills, they want to teach your child how to take care of their stuff, take care of their book and all of that. Shouldn't you start by having them take care of 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then all that? They master that. How about mastery? Let the child master what the child has, and then when the foundation is strong and the foundation is good, they are able to take on as many as possible after that. But no, we just want to stuff people with information. So yes, I've deviated from what it is that we're talking about. But hey, this is how bad it is. But I'm not even deviating per se, because really, if you do not know what your child needs, anybody will bamboozle you and tell you, oh, when they come, they will work, they will have how many A's. I say to parents over and over again, why do you want to sacrifice 6, 7, 8 years of a child's life, put the child under pressure just because in grade 11 or grade 12, the child is going to have A's? Is it worth it? As in, is it really, really worth it? That all of this stress and all of this pressure in the child's life, in those 6 years, 8 years, does it occur to you